So the next question says, which of the following statements about GDP is correct? And one says nominal GDP values production at constant prices, whereas real GDP values production at current prices. Two says nominal GDP values production at market prices, whereas real GDP values production at the cost of the resources used in the production process. Three says nominal GDP consistently underestimates the value of production, whereas real GDP consistently overestimates the value of production. And four says nominal GDP values production at current prices, whereas real GDP values production at constant prices. And so, this is question, judging by the answer choice, is really just asking us what is the difference between nominal and real GDP. And the answer is that nominal GDP is given as a combination of price and production. So if 10 units were produced and each of those units cost $10, then nominal GDP would just multiply current prices by the production of that year and sum up all of that, and that would give you nominal GDP. The difference is that changes in the nominal GDP, you're not sure if those reflect changes in production level, which is what we care about, or if they reflect simply changes in price. Right? Let's say something used to cost $10 last year, and this year it only costs $5. Well, that's going to decrease GDP by half if even if production remained the same. And so, specifically nominal GDP, excuse me. And so, there's a potential that fluctuations in nominal GDP are simply fluctuations in prices rather than production. And so, to control for that and to make sure that what we're looking at when we see changes in GDP is really changes in the value of production rather than the prices of at current levels, we're going to take a look at real GDP. And real GDP holds production prices at constant levels given a base year. So let's say we only care about prices as they were last year, regardless if this is this year, last year, or the year before. And so all prices are going to be a price for a loaf of bread is going to be $5 no matter what, even if this year it's $7 or $4. We're going to hold it constant at $5, and we only care about changes in production quantity, right? And so in that sense, real GDP is controlling or keeping prices constant and ensuring that changes in real GDP are reflections of changes in overall changes in overall production. So, looking through your answer choices, it looks like 4 is going to be the statement about GDP that is correct. Nominal GDP values production at current prices, whereas real GDP values production at constant prices. And that's going to be the big distinguishing factor for that, for nominal versus real. So let's take a look at the previous tutor's answer. So they said 4 as well. Nominal GDP values production at current prices, whereas real GDP values production at constant prices. And they say that the GDP of a country is the aggregate of the value of all final goods and services produced by an economy in a period, usually a year, in its domestic territory. Measurement of GDP involves a summation of values added by economic agents in a year to the economy or of incomes they received for a contribution to the output generation. The value that is calculated at current prices is known as nominal GDP. This figure is adjusted for inflation to reflect real economic growth, which is a result of output increase and not increase in the price level. It is known as real GDP. Real GDP values production at constant prices, i.e. the prices of a base year with relatively stable prices. So I think this answer is a little bit long and a little bit confusing. I think we can write a little bit better of an explanation here just to clarify the differences between real and nominal. So we can say that nominal GDP is calculated using both current prices and production levels. As a result, changes in nominal GDP could be a result of either changes in prices or changes in production level. Because this can be confusing because we care mostly about changes in production level, not price level. Real GDP solves this problem by keeping prices constant using a base year's prices for all relevant calculations. They're i.e. valuing production at constant prices. So this is going to be a little bit better of an answer, just kind of clarifying the answer given here. I think some of it was good, and others I think a little bit confusing. So hopefully this makes a little bit more sense. So